3%. Because the wind was going, yeah, well, the wind was going that way, so you know, you're just seeing all those.
Y'all can join on your computers now, by the way.
King.
Destin.
Was it?
That's your daughter?
Who? Her? I never met her in my life.
Trying to establish.
Okay, is it 6 o'clock?
Trying to establish a quorum?
It's 1 minute till,
It's not yet.
and there's plenty of cupcakes for anybody who wants one.
Thank you. April, the gang.
6 o'clock.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Let's see. City manager, you ready?
Good to go.
City clerk? Maybe? Okay.
In progress.
All right, we're recording. That's a start.
Maybe let me back in.
I guess, oh, refresh, yeah. Okay, there it is.
Here it is.
Huh?
It's on.
It's on.
Okay, present,
Okay. Marty?
present.
Yeah, a second. Yeah,
Oh, what about you, Mr. Kata?
I got it. Hang on.
Yep.
Well, it's just a matter, we
You
better
three,
refresh it. We was sitting here waiting for it to pop up.
Susan, ready?
I'm ready, yes.
Mr. Lawson, I can see you're not joined.
I'm like, what? Let's see.
He's not joined on the thing.
We could see your nostrils.
Refresh in.
One.
Oh, we know. Yeah. So we don't say it out loud anymore?
We've been doing it. We've only been doing it like. It's new. It's new. It's 1 year anniversary will be next week.
Can I change?
All right. It's ready over there? Yeah, everybody else ready? Let's get started. Want to start with the invocation, please? Thank you.
Let's pray. Father, as always, we pause at the beginning of our time together just to be grateful. We're thankful for a weekend to spend with friends and family and to celebrate our freedom. We're thankful for the men and women in this room that are here to do your business. It seems like sometimes in local government, the only thing that we can be certain of is there's more uncertainty to come. So we're grateful for strong leaders who will step up and make the decisions that need to be made. So we thank you for them and their willingness to serve their fellow man and fellow citizen in the city of Mary Esther. We just pray that you would give wisdom and guidance as we move through tonight's meeting. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you. I'm calling to order the regular meeting of the City of Mary Esther City Council, July 6, 2026 at 6 p.m. Would everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, tonight is, I would like to have a roll call performed by the city clerk.
Councilmember Sutton,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Coxwell,
Here.
Councilmember Lawson,
Present.
Councilmember Carter,
Present.
Councilmember Oder.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Okay. All right, we got tonight's agenda. We got it as printed. Does anybody wish to make any changes, or do I have a motion to approve?
So move, Mayor. Motion.
I have
to
a
approve.
first by Mr. Carter.
Second.
Second, Mr. Coxwell. Let's go ahead and vote. And the answer is unanimous, pass 5-0. Great. All right, moving on. Special presentations, yard of the month. City clerk, any pictures?
We
Oh,
received
there we
4
go.
submissions this month.
4 of them. Okay.
Yeah.
And these were all submitted by staff?
Citizens.
Citizens. Okay, great. Any council members have a preference?
They're all very excellent.
They
Mayor.
are. They're really pretty.
It's almost like we got 4 yard of months in a row.
Well, I don't have enough signs. It's going to be down to 1.
I mean-
Caswell? Put up Caswell.
The one on Brewer got my
Brewer's
attention.
nice too, yeah.
Brewer.
They're kind of tied in my eye.
Okay. Got Caswell. And
Well, why don't we make one July, one
Brewer.
August?
We can do that. I mean, you're the ones around the show. I just put the sign on the ground.
I mean, they're so close, and
For what?
I don't even know who.
Where's
these
your
are.
house?
They are.
I don't, we don't know who these houses are.
They just put the address.
But no, seriously, the dismissions for this month are outstanding, and,
Mhm.
Yeah, they really are.
and to penalize only having one, I would recommend we have one for this month and they make the automatic winner for next month.
I
Okay.
think then the other two
No.
maybe should get like honorable mention.
Yes, I mean, there are no losers,
No, they all look great.
and I would not want to penalize them because of timing.
Dylan, would it be a challenge to do an honorable mention letter? I could put it the other houses and we'll give them a
I could-
coin or something.
I could think something.
We'll work on that. Well, you want, like, do you want to pick one and then the other three?
I don't think we've had any off of, is it Brewer for in a while?
Brewer, no, we have not had,
Or Caswell?
Caswell, definitely not. So, you want to pick the yard of the month and the rest, honorable mention?
Or do Caswell, July.
Okay,
Or August, and then the other two honorable.
that's
That's my vote.
for your
Okay.
vote? You okay with that, April?
Yeah.
Susan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Richard? Okay, Larry?
So what is the official motion?
The official motion is going to be Caswell Circle is the yard of the month for July. And Brewer Circle is going to be for August. And the other two houses is going to be that letter that you're going to make for honorable, or,
What was the other street? Mary Esther.
honorable mention. Is that, all right, do I have a motion to approve what I just said?
Make that motion.
Can I have a
I'll
first?
Second.
I have a second. All right, let's go ahead and vote. Okay. Vote in progress. Pass, 5-0. Okay, great. And I'll pick that up whenever you tell me to. All right, the next one is going to be the consent agenda. Does anybody wish to make any modifications to the consent agenda? If not, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as listed?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I have a first, Ms. Sutton.
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Coxwell. Go ahead and vote. Okay, we got one person that hadn't voted. Richard?
You gotta go back.
Yeah, we got it. All right, 5-0. Excellent. All right, number 8 is citizens who have been requested to be placed on the agenda. Is Mr. Wagons Pack
He's not here.
here? Okay, well, that's easy enough. Public comment, non-agenda items, that's for any citizen or wish to make a 3-minute speech to the city council on anything except what we're going to talk about tonight. We'll start out with Derek. You want to speak? You sure? Anything, 3 minutes. Talk about your council wife, okay? I mean, doesn't matter. Just can't be a council point. You want to speak? Okay. Miss London, are you sure? Okay, you can talk about that Pluto thing about Mary Esther endorsing Pluto. We discussed that earlier. Okay, anybody in the front row? Go ahead, ma'am. Go up there, give us your name, address, and then you got 3 minutes. Pull the mic. There you go.
My name is Patricia Ward. I live at 147 Brewer Circle, Mary Esther. And what else?
Huh?
Was I supposed to give something else?
That's it. That's
Okay.
it. You got it.
All right. I recently sent a letter to Jared and Kelvin concerning code violations, and I would like to read a part of that letter. When we chose Mary Esther as our hometown almost 30 years ago, we chose it because of its beauty and the fact that the neighborhoods were governed with codes to keep it beautiful. These people did not move into the slums, but they are quickly turning our neighborhoods into slums. Now, it seems that if we can't enforce the codes, we might as well not have codes at all, and we certainly don't want that. So they need to be enforced by whatever means required, or we need to find solutions instead of excuses, because our neighborhoods are really bad now.
Okay. Thank you. You too, Nate, want to speak? No? Okay. Anybody else? All right. Public comment, non-agenda items. Unfinished business, item 10.1 is ordinance 2026-02, electric bicycles, motorized scooters, and micro-mobility devices, whatever they are. Never heard of
Good
such a thing.
evening, Honorable Mayor and the council. For the record, Tyler Reed, Community Development Director. At this time, I would like to enter the staff report into the record. This ordinance establishes regulations for the operation, parking, and enforcement of electric bicycles, motorized scooters, and other micromobility devices within the city. The ordinance promotes safe operation while providing local enforcement standards. The first reading occurred April 6, 2026, and was approved unanimously. Prior to the second reading, Captain Rader of the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office recommended revisions to the speed limit provisions to improve enforceability. Specifically, the ordinance was revised to replace a fixed sidewalk speed limit with language requiring operations to travel at a speed that is reasonably prudent for the current conditions or environment, providing law enforcement with greater discretion. These revisions have been incorporated and the ordinance is being presented again for the first reading. And this concludes my presentation. Are there any questions?
This is to keep us in line with the sheriff, that we talked about this
Correct.
earlier, what the ordinance other cities have,
Mhm.
the county and everything. It puts it all together and it's the same law, kind of the regulations throughout.
I have a
Correct.
question. So
Second.
DeSantis just vetoed Senate Bill 382. So is this going to be impacted by that?
No, ma'am. So this is an ordinance specific to the county and to Okaloosa County's municipalities. So this is our own ordinance that isn't really affected by the state.
Until there's a new, if they preempt like they do on a lot of things, then it may become an issue down the road. But with the veto, this would allow for, self-governance at the county and municipal level. So it would be good law as long as it doesn't conflict with any state statute. It shouldn't at this point.
Okay.
Any other questions? Read it.
Ordinance number 26-02, an ordinance of the City of Mary Esther, Florida, creating Article 5 under Chapter 18 of the Mary Esther Code of Ordinances titled Electric Bicycles, Motorized Scooters, and Micromobility Devices, and providing for enforcement, severability, conflicts, codifications, and an effective date.
Okay, any more discussion? If not, do I have a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 2026-02, creating Article 5 of the Chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances to establish regulations governing electric bicycles, motorized scooters, and micromobility devices within the City of Mary Esther? You have a first?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Mr. Coxwell's got
Second.
first. Second, Mr. Carter. Go ahead and vote. Okay, we're 5-0 on that one. Good, thank you. Next one is 10.2, ordinance 2026-03, election date change.
Yes, so Mayor and Council, this is the second reading of ordinance number 2026-03, which will put on the ballot if we will align our elections with the national elections. So there are no changes, so we're just bringing it to second reading.
Okay, any discussion on this? You want to read it?
Ordinance number 2026-03, an ordinance of the City of Mary Esther, Florida, amending the Charter of the City of Mary Esther, amending Section 3.05 titled Election and Terms, providing for codification, providing for ballot question and summary, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. So that motion would be a motion to approve a second and final reading of the ordinance 2026-03, amending the charter of the city to change the regular election date to the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November of each even general election year.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, first, Mr. Odert.
A second.
Okay, Mr. Lawson's number 2. Let's go ahead and vote. Okay, we got a 5-0 on that one. Next one is item 10.3, ordinance 2026-04, rezone request for 180 Mary Esther Boulevard.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. Again, for the record, Tyler Reed, Community Development Director. This time I would like to enter the staff report into the record. This ordinance amends the official zoning map by rezoning approximately 1.68 acres located at 180 Mary Esther Boulevard from C1 to C2. The proposed rezoning will allow the existing U-Haul truck and trailer rental operation to comply with the city's land development code while remaining consistent with the surrounding commercial corridor. The rezone application was submitted on April 15, 2026 by Sprop LLC, owner of the existing gas station and convenience store. The local planning agency recommended approval on June 1st, 2026, and the city council approved the ordinance on first reading. The subject property is located between two existing C2 zoned parcels, and the rezone would increase the compatibility. No physical changes to the site are being proposed. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions? We've already gone through this. You want to read it?
Ordinance number 2026-04, an ordinance of the City of Mary Esther, Florida, amending the zoning map of approximately 1.68 acres of land generally located on the east side of Mary Esther Boulevard and south of Hollywood Boulevard from C1 Limited Commercial to C2 General Commercial, providing for legislative intent, implementing actions, a savings provision, scrivener's errors, conflicts, and severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. The motion, if approved, is the motion to approve a first reading of the ordinance of the City of Mary Esther, Florida, amending the zoning map of approximately 1.68 acres area of land generally located on the east side of Mary Esther Boulevard and south of Hollywood Boulevard from C1 Limited Commercial to C2 General Commercial, providing for legislative intent, implementing actions, a saving provision, something error, conflicts, and servability, and providing for an effective date.
And it's a second reading, not a first.
Second reading. Okay, great. Second, I thought we had one before. Okay. We have a motion to approve this.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
We make that.
We make the motion. I'm going to do you first, Mr. Lawson, and you second. Is that okay?
That's fine.
All right, we're good on that. Any discussion? Let's go ahead and vote. Okay, passed 5-0. New business, 11.1, Resolution 26-12, approval of FDEP grant agreement number L0260 for stormwater drainage improvements. City Manager, you want to handle that one?
Yes, sir. Mayor and council. So we received a grant last year, actually not this current legislative session, for the ditch that runs between the Scottsdale and Springdale neighborhoods and Hurlburt Field. And so that's the $250,000 grant. This is the actual agreement with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. If council approves this, we will send it back to DEP, and we will continue the process of getting easements from, it's actually Eglin, because Eglin manages the land for Hurlburt. So the whole project is estimated about $1 million, so this pays for about 25% of the project.
Okay. Questions? No? It's been going on forever. Okay, if there's no questions, you want to read the opening paragraph?
Resolution number 26-12, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Mary Esther, Florida, approving grant agreement number L0260 with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection for the Mary Esther Stormwater Drainage Improvements Project, authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. The motion is to adopt Resolution 26-12 approving FDEP grant agreement number Lima 0260 for Mary Esther Stormwater Drainage Improvements Project in the amount of $250,000 and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement on behalf of the city. Do I have a motion or first?
I'll make that motion.
Have a first,
I'll
Ms.
second.
Sutton, a second by Ms. Coxwell. Okay, let's go ahead and vote. Excellent, 5-0. 11.2 is consideration 2026 Florida League of Cities Annual Conference Voting Delegate Selection. Does anybody want to do it?
I thought you was gonna do it.
I'm not doing it. I didn't, I thought you were going to do it.
No.
I'll do it if nobody else wants to do it, but
I've done it the last couple years. but I-
everybody's pretty much,
Who's going, for sure?
I'm going.
You're going, you're going, you're going. Oh, okay,
I mean,
well, then it's not me.
you're not going. You got to go, and you got to go to a bunch of meetings, and it just, it's,
Just do it right on the
I won't
first
say it's
day of
painful, but it's, you got to keep going.
I don't mind.
So who wants to do it? I really don't really want to do it.
Yeah, no. Carter. It's between me and you, I guess.
Larry, I say Larry.
Let's dump it on Larry.
Sure, why not?
Larry,
Okay, perfect.
he'll eat anything. Oh, that was a commercial. Okay.
You can
That's
call
what
me.
I picked.
Is that who you picked? Okay. All right, Larry, you got it. All right, let's vote on it, okay?
Sure.
Do I have a motion to select Councilman Carter,
Put it in writing, huh?
Councilman Carter to do the Florida League of Cities Annual Conference Voting Delegate for the
I'll
City
make
of
that
Mary
motion.
Esther?
I'll
First?
second.
Second? Okay, we're good. Let's vote. You're gonna have to do this now.
He's gonna vote
You
no.
don't have to vote.
No, you don't have to vote. You're gonna be outvoted. It's gonna be a 4-1. I don't care. You got it.
Oh, what do I do?
You,
Vote.
you do have to
You
vote.
can vote for yourself, okay? Just vote, come on.
Really?
All right, don't vote. Vote no. I don't care. You got it.
Who got it?
You got it. All right, voting in progress. Oh, we got it. 5-0. All right. Thank you for accepting that responsibility,
Thank you.
Councilman Carter.
Bring Pike with you.
Bring the dog, yeah. 11.3, discussion, Veterans Day Parade and Celebration, event opening plan. Who's going to speak to that? You are? Excellent.
Yes, Mayor and Council. So you've got I'll call it a framework in front of you here. As you know, we put on an annual Veterans Day celebration. We received somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 attendees to this parade and celebration. It's expanded over the last few years. And so the council had a discussion as to how we were going to plan the event moving forward. We put together this operations plan, which is basically a framework identifying responsibilities. This is not set in stone. The whole purpose of it is that we run through the event. After the event, we talk about changes that may need to be made. We update it. We kind of repeat the cycle, bring it back to council, bring it back to the city attorney as well as our insurance carrier to review. Right now, our city attorney's staff has provided feedback on the actual registration forms. So we have that. We'll update that information, and our insurance carrier is reviewing it as well. Laws change every year. Liability policies change every year. And so it's intended to be an iterative document, such that if half the committee changes 5 years from now, we still kind of understand how it's been operated and we can move forward. There are a few items that are purposefully not addressed in here. One was the parade route and event layout. That is something that typically that is not changed from year to year, but we'll discuss it with the committee and see if they have feedback. If council has some feedback on that, please let us know so that we can discuss that as a group. We have already reached out to the Santa Rosa Mall, and they've given us kind of the areas that we can use. So we have quite a bit of space that we can use. Obviously, if part of the mall is under construction, we may have to pivot a little bit, but as of right now, pretty much all of the same space is available. And then the final thing that I know we always like to talk about is the city float. So if you all have a preference, at one point there was a discussion of being in the 250th parade up in Crestview, and we were going to take city vehicles. And so all we ask from staff is that if there is a preference to make a change, just let us know early on so that we can accommodate that.
I have one
Uh,
question, just
go ahead.
nothing with the float, you got the float, but, and maybe that's for you. When are they gonna start construction for the big box store in that area? Is there a date? Or is it, what's the latest time?
I'll let you address.
No, just a question, I mean, just give me a date, there's, we're not.
For the record, Tyler Reed, we don't have a specific date right now. The application is still in process. We still are awaiting plans. So,
From the big box store or from the mall?
yes, sir, from the big box store.
Okay, so it might be a
So-
while.
I can't give you
I-
a date, unfortunately.
Okay, you answered my question. No construction. Okay, yes, sir.
For the committee, entertaining if there's an appetite and also for the sheriff's office to weigh in on what would be the feasibility of moving the parade off of Mary Esther Cutoff and put it inside the mall property in totality.
I don't know that that road would support it.
Yeah,
That's why I asked, you know,
yeah.
to do the feasibility up front, so we don't waste our time. But I think
Have
it
you,
wasn't for the construction, because it takes that element, and I've asked Captain Ray to speak, there's no traffic behind you, people running in between traffic and children. If there was space inside the mall property where we could conduct a parade,
you need a 4x4 to drive through that property.
Yeah, no kidding.
well, my intent was not to drive through the property, start where we always start, and come around and come where.
But what I'm saying is that road is full of potholes and
So where we start, it's gonna have to change as well?
No, just saying stay on the roads is what she said.
It goes down Page Bacon,
Right.
makes a right, and goes down, like you're
Mary
talking
Esther.
about, Mariston Boulevard, and then makes a right on Hollywood and ends that way. If you make it go down Page Bacon, which we could still do, because there's not people running across the two-lane road, and then somehow turn in by where Sears used to be, it's gonna be a challenge to keep it all in that box unless you start it.
Well, the
in the
idea was,
box.
instead of starting on Page Bacon, just go down parallel to where the storage is, turn right in front of the bank, Panera, keep going all the way down to where the food courts are, or where the food is concession, and end somewhere near the middle of the mall. Versus,
it's the road condition that's
Well,
a
you-
yeah, I see your point.
and I want to ask the sheriff, is this a problem that we need to maybe do this? I mean, we've done it for 20 years at least, exactly that same route, haven't killed anybody. But I mean, is it something we need to look into?
Mike Rader from the Sheriff's Office. To my knowledge, it's run fairly smoothly as long as we get advance notice on it. But I don't think there's been a huge impact on traffic from what I'm being told. I've never attended one, but I'm told it goes pretty smoothly as long as you get advance notice and get the people on board to block traffic, proper use of barricades. I'm told we need to kind of leverage that more this year.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like it where it's at. It stretches out a little bit, otherwise you're packing it all into a parking lot.
Well, my opening comments was to do an assessment to see if it was feasible. But, I'm not proceeding as if that's the new direction, but with the change in the governing and the body that's overseeing the parade, I thought it was a good opportunity to look at how we conduct the parade and the route, because some of the feedback was people crossing over from the other side, east side, going west across the street, and that when we come down Mary Esther, our back is to that side of the street, and all our attention's to the mall area. And there are people standing and waving, and we did a couple of years through Candy that direction. So I said it was a good opportunity to look at what we have done. Not that what we've done is not good and shouldn't, or that it should change, but it's a good opportunity to assess the safety of it, because we've always done it that way.
We would have no qualms with that, and it's always good to have a contingency or backup plan in case something happens on the original route. You have plan B to fall back on, so. But we would have no issue with the
Because
feasibility.
Well,
But-
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that's relying a lot on private property, allowing that to be the case. So that would, like we're going on our roads or the county roads to use the parade route. If we do the parade route solely on private property, then would that be a different
Okay, the mall's
agreement
gonna- the mall's
situation?
gonna have to absorb a lot of their
Right.
property. That's another thing.
Well, they're doing that right now.
Just to get started, but now we're talking about everybody being on their parking lot. If somebody hurts themselves, they're gonna go
Well,
after the mall.
we could find as many right things as wrong things.
That's
Right.
absolutely.
But my
right.
point is,
What do you want?
what I was looking at, when the parade's over, it's just over. I mean, there's no gaggle, there's no coming together, there's no, I mean, because when you take the floats to the back of the mall, it kind of just falls apart. And to have the kind of a grand finale, have a stage, have a presentation, have
Well,
music.
last year, a lot of people went to the food courts afterwards.
Yeah, food court.
Yeah,
Well, I wasn't aware of that, but my point. is,
yeah.
They're open till 3, the food courts, right?
Yeah, it was actually crowded last year after,
I mean,
with,
the food trucks.
Yeah.
or the food truck,
Yeah.
yeah, the food
courts.
trucks.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
food
right.
trucks.
Yeah, food courts were there. They had the table where you could eat underneath, the covers. All that's there, right?
So, and we can certainly look at the route. I think there are some challenges. The condition of the road is one thing, but we can certainly look at the route and have that discussion, and bring back that to the council.
That's fair enough.
And council can make a decision if you would like.
Nope.
The concerns about the throwing of candy, one thing that we do have on this list to talk about really is like you said, people from the other side, from the active lane of traffic and standing in the medians, because that, yes, we definitely need to cut down on that. And certainly instructing folks not to throw candy in that direction to encourage it, because that is a safety concern. You know, thankfully, the few times I've been out there, it's not, I haven't seen huge crowds in the median, but there are people that are there. And so it absolutely is a concern that we can try to tamp down on.
We can just mark that either on the route or sign saying
Yeah,
no
no
candy zone.
pedestrians.
We've done that, but,
Put signs up in the median that say,
well, the mounted posse, I mean, excuse me, not the mounted posse, but the posse takes care of that. I don't know if they're going to be active this year, but that's an ongoing problem. As much
Right.
as we have tried to deter it, have barricades, have tape, people are still.
Right. It does happen for Walton Parade too. I mean, it's just
yeah,
all
I
in
was like,
all.
well,
Like we were discussing the leveraging of barricades. I mean, if we can stake it off and have roped off your physical barriers, that's gonna multiply your manpower issues.
okay. Yeah. Very well. We'll look into it. Speaking of which, when's our meeting? We're not doing it tomorrow? We're gonna have a meeting on the 8th. I'm sorry.
It's on Wednesday.
We're good?
Yes, sir.
And I was,
Okay, it's a different meeting. All right.
and I was going to ask the fire chief, could we commandeer one of his trucks for our city float?
Here we go.
There we go.
Does it have a cover in case it rains?
It has a cab.
Jeff?
Well, in that case, you'll be happy for a change.
I
Okay.
just-
Sounds good.
Dylan's about to have a strike.
All right.
We'll just put our sign on the fire truck.
Jeff Wagner, Fire Chief, Ocean City Road Fire Control District. Yes, sir. I'll provide you a driver. You can do whatever you like.
I appreciate this.
No. That's
I
my
do
job.
appreciate this.
Okay, great.
This
Thank
is
you
good.
very
I
much.
do
We
too.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
You
so do you.
made his day and you made my day because you made his day. Okay, go ahead.
One more time.
I'm not surprised. Most law enforcement would love to drive in a fire truck.
Now he's mad at you. He's giving you a dirty look,
Yeah.
giving you a snake eye there. Okay, all right. Anything else? We got our meeting coming up on the 8th.
I was just saying that I really like this format that you've given us with the breakdown and gives us a definite idea of what's going on and everything, of what's kind of in the goal. So I appreciate that. Thank you for that.
Okay. And like I said, on the 8th at 3 o'clock, we have our parade meeting, so we'll get back with everybody next time and, I mean, basically what we discussed. So everybody, no major changes? Okay, then we got our first meeting, so we'll push on from there. All right, next one is 11.4, code and blight issues. Discussion.
So that's me, the Councilmember Sutton for Code and Blight. So, Ms. Ward, thank you. I did not realize you were speaking tonight. A number of our businesses are starting to look in rough shape. We have a large amount of homeless population at night that is now gathering, and even during the day around these vacant businesses. If you go behind businesses, and I'm not going to point out any business name in particular, or any home address in particular, but there's a number of appliances in people's front yards that are a safety concern for small children. getting locked in, including very large coolers with lids where children can crawl in and hide. But the amount of trash among the businesses right now is getting pretty bad. And I'm not sure if it's coming from the business owners or if it's the homeless camps that are driving through. Um, but Mary Esther Cutoff has been a like little running highway for the homeless now, and some prostitutes have made our city theirs. It's definitely a concern, but like I said, and with the houses, the sheer number of abandoned cars and appliances in people's front yard is, I mean, honestly astonishing. Um, we need to step up patrols. You know, I've asked the city manager about this. I get told that it needs to be a council decision. We've discussed this multiple times in the last couple of years on council, so I'm not sure what more decision there needs to be. I've also been told that, well, the city doesn't get phone calls. Well, they are because I call about code enforcement, but apparently that's not enough. So we need to step up and do right for our citizens. The blight issues are becoming a safety concern at this point for like our kids. I mean, the size of rats that I'm seeing, I didn't know rats actually got that large, to be honest. We do have a bear problem in this community. They're very active right now. So with the number of things that are being left in people's front yards that clearly don't have valid tags, the number of RVs where people are living in them on properties. And I don't mean for 30 days, but clearly these RVs don't move for years. We need to figure out something because currently I don't think our system is maybe working as effectively as it could be. So we need to figure out how to help our community and our neighbors because it does affect people's property values. And like I said, it's really becoming a safety issue because I would hate to see a small child playing and think that's a good hiding spot and get trapped. So,
Okay, well, how does council feel? Susan?
I mean, I agree. There are some properties and, but I've also seen some of the vacant businesses have been, like Burger King and have been kept tamed and cleared and cleaned and, but some of the houses, definitely have some items, some of the RV situations. I don't know, I mean, I know Fort Walton did a thing a while back where they did like quadrant sweeps and went through and kind of did a warning system and, you know, let you know here and then back at it. I don't know if we can do that. And how many of these cases are already noticed, you know, that the pictures of, I don't know if they are already on the radar, so.
Okay, are they?
I don't think we have addresses for the specific ones that were submitted. But as far as code cases that are open,
Yeah, how many
um,
we have?
that is actually public.
Mhm.
So right now, if you go to the city website and you go to report a concern, you can see the map and see all of the cases that are open. So I would encourage folks there, if there's a potential violation, you can always check that first to see what the status is. But you're also welcome to submit a case as well.
right, because of it being public record, the average citizen does not want to report their neighbor because they are in fear of retaliation from that neighbor.
That's what the state did.
Well, yeah, that's not a
That's
city
not
issue.
that's the state
That's a
did that.
state problem. So that's why they're reaching out to council members. And yeah, Burger King and Wendy's have definitely cleaned up, but I'm talking about actually open businesses that have significant safety issues behind their locations and front. Yeah.
So my only, two questions for council would be is it a case where you want more code enforcement? And if you do, that's something we can address. The other concern sometimes that comes up is it the time that it takes to close a case out from beginning to end? And there are ways to shorten that. Ours is, I don't know how it compares to Fort Walton Beach, but for example, we give, unless you're a repeat offender, we give you a courtesy notice, which gives you a little time on the front end. And so those are, as a city manager, those are the two things that, are very helpful to me. And so if council would like more code enforcement, we can certainly discuss internally on how to make that happen. If the question is like I said, the time it takes to process cases, that may require changing some of those timelines. Um, Full transparency, sometimes when you do that, either one, you're going to hear some back from the folks getting the violation notices from the folks that think they should have more time. And so from staff's perspective, we're happy to do both. We just need to hear that direction from the council.
I'm just encouraging council to do something about I'm not necessarily caring about somebody's grass that's 2 inches too long. I'm more concerned about grass that's as high as somebody's roof line, um, or the true safety concerns with like appliances left in front yards, abandoned vehicles. Because like I said, that's an excellent hiding location. And in this heat, it doesn't take very long for a child to be trapped and die in that heat. So that's really what I'm looking for, is those type of serious violations.
One other follow-up to that too, if I could. So, and this may end up having to be a Hayward question eventually, but there are some cities that have a program where after so long of the grass not being cut, the city frankly comes in, cuts it, and sends you the bill. And so that's certainly an option that if Hayward blesses it, we could look at that. The most efficient way to do that is typically to have a contractor actually do that work instead of city staff. We've got enough parks to mow, so adding in private properties makes it even more challenging. But like I say, getting feedback on all that would be very helpful to us.
Okay, feedback. Go ahead.
Well, issues of safety and concern and health of our community would be the top priority in my mind. I share the concern with Councilman Sutton for grass is being 2 inches. I don't know if that reaches the breadth of spending a lot of time on that particular issue. But developing a process to identify and a corrective action, I think, would be very important, because we don't want it to be driven by, because the pendulum has gone both ways. There was the history of Mary Esther where the code enforcement had a profile, and there was some pushback to that profile, and changes were made, and maybe the pendulum went too far to the right or to the left, however you want to frame it. But before we embark on this journey, let's look at all the right things we can do up front, because it'll require probably use of the magistrate and those delinquent cases. And the city had never had an appetite to be putting lien on houses and owning houses, but that may be the outcome depending on that particular homeowner's mindset. So I wouldn't look for the city to count the cost. How are we going to do it? What's the process of appeals? So, and then advertise, and then let the citizens know that Mary Esther is concerned about its image. The property owners are concerned, because we had really two bookends tonight. We have some fantastic properties, and then on the other side, the pendulum where is the impetus of being opposite of being outstanding. But to arm code enforcement with the right tools and the means and a clear direction, so we don't start this process as, oh, no, this is not what we intended, because some citizens may get right up and probably won't care, and some won't find out till they go sell the house, there's a lien on it. And we need a way to think this through, because if code enforcement does assess a situation, that may not see a change, because even though it's been wrote up in code, and because in my mind, this would be a good time to look at all our codes when it comes to our parking. All these things kind of fit the same perspective, because you can't just look at one particular aspect of the code. But if we're looking at the appearance, rewarding excellence for people who do take care of their homes and deal with the bad actors, I think we should have the same zeal for both communities. But starting out with a clear purpose, a clear direction, so whether our current person's doing or someone else, because what happens if there's so much code work that it outstrips the current manning that we have? So there are lots of things. So when we throw this rock in the pond, I think we should really think long and hard. I'm not anti-code, but sometimes when these things start, they can have unintentional consequences. And I think we should make sure that we've looked at all of those and give our code enforcement the tools to use. And also when we find out that there's a blighted property, because we identify it and assess it, that doesn't change the property. And the council also needs to, well, if code's done their job, how far do we want them to take it? So I think we should ask all those right questions so we get the conclusion that we're looking for.
So what do you want to do? You made this thing about, do you want to assign staff? The idea of coming up with alternatives or some options for the council? What do you want? What's the end result of this statement?
To use the existing code, evaluate how we're going to do it.
Okay, so you want staff to use existing code.
Well, I thought I made my case clear. I mean,
It seems like we're doing nothing. We're just going to continue on. I mean,
no,
what do you want to do? I mean, that's what
determine,
they're asking.
determine the rules of engagement for assessing the codes that we have.
Okay, you want to have staff look into that?
Yes, I mean,
Okay, that's
they're already-
fine.
I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel.
So one thing that might be helpful is if, frankly, just the current workflow that we go through for a typical property,
Right.
we can present that to you. Now, it is important, though, in this discussion that if there is a priority for a certain type of a violation, if the stance of council is, for example, we're not so concerned about grass and weeds, but we are concerned about, the broken down vehicle or we're concerned about, I mean, a big one is refrigerators and front porches that aren't secured.
Washing machines.
And so if
Fine.
that's the direction of council, then that's helpful to us because it helps us focus our efforts. But I think a good place to start is we can show you the workflow that we have.
Right now, how many vehicles can a person have in the yard?
As long as they're
I don't
tagged.
believe there is a limit.
And that's my point,
No,
No, as long as
no,
they
there's
have
no limit.
registration.
And you can, that's one of the hardest things sometimes to have a discussion with folks about too, is you can park 2 cars in the middle of your yard. There's nothing, you may not like it, I may not like it. To somebody else, that's normal. And that's not a violation. So we can't write that up unless it's unregistered and it's inoperable.
You would have to update, sorry, you would have to update your codes, maybe put no parking in side yard setbacks, things like that. But there's no law, right? Like I can own 1,000 cars as long as I can find a place to put them, but that doesn't mean that they're probably all going to fit on a half-acre lot, right? So you can definitely do some things to make it, more restrictive, and some places have done that. There's also some requirements. I know Jared spoke about, the statute talks about a reasonable time to give a alleged violator an opportunity to cure. That's usually 30 days, and there's a reinspection. Maybe they started, but they didn't get everything done. So maybe give them a little more time. So some of these tend to kind of drag on because you're trying to get the person
Complied.
into compliance versus, hey, now we're going to punish you. There's also ways to use a repeat offender. So maybe you get a person, you go ahead and schedule them for a magistrate hearing. They get it resolved, but you still bring them before the magistrate, show that they did violate, present the evidence, make a finding that, yeah, there was a violation, but it's been cured. But going forward, you're now going to be considered a repeat offender. Therefore, they're not going to have to give you some of the guidelines and, or the reasonable time, because now you're on notice. Hey, if it happens again for this particular, so there are definitely things to help. But yeah, if there was a silver bullet, somebody else would have done it, and there would be a county or a city that had no code violations. But I definitely think there's some things that staff could do, and we could do with the code to maybe strengthen some of that. But then there's going to have to be the resolve from the council, because you're going to get the calls where people are saying, hey, they're complaining because they feel like Mr. Carter said, where you're coming down hard on me. If I wanted to live in an HOA, I would have bought it in an HOA, blah, blah, blah. But will definitely help. I mean, there's some things that, and then the other thing that Jared mentioned, we've done that before as a city. You've done that where you've authorized demolition. That turns around and becomes a lien on that property. That's usually reserved for health, safety, and welfare issues. So you're not going to usually do that with tall grass. But yeah, if you have a dilapidated structure that you're concerned about, uh, the other issue, these things aren't super liens. So when you put a lien on a property, if it's a homestead, you're not going to get it. If there's a Bank of America loan that's out there on it, you're not going to get it unless they sell it and they get more money than they're supposed to. So some of that's just kind of hit or miss on whether or not you'll ever recover those funds. I've seen some cities go ahead and bite the bullet and say, yeah, we may never recover it, but it's good for the community and we're just going to do it because it helps that neighborhood or that street or whatever. Again, that's going to be a policy decision because those are monies that you may
Well,
never
and
get back.
the city has done an excellent job at dealing with a few specific hoarder homes in our community that have actually cleaned up and are actually staying cleaned up. But I feel like we've got some new hoarders that have kind of started. But I mean, some of these homes clearly, like I said, it's the biggest thing that I'm concerned about is not minor issues like that. I mean, obviously, these things need to be addressed. Yes. My biggest concern is the sheer volume of cars that I've seen throughout the city limits of Mary Esther that clearly are not registered, clearly have not been moved in years or maybe a decade. And the number of appliances on people's front lawns is quite astonishing.
So am I hearing from my colleagues, health, welfare, and safety are our primary, because what I don't want to kick it down the road to another meeting. If we can come online, those are our top priorities: appliances, health and welfare and
Yeah.
safety.
And the abandoned cars, I think they need to either have like a current tag or they need to be towed away. Because
Is that clear enough?
We have an ordinance for cars that aren't registered, right?
Yeah, usually it's if they're not registered, because you can't register it if you don't have insurance, right? So some people
Right.
just don't have insurance, they don't register it. But then I think there's an exemption if they're covered. Is that correct? Yeah, so if they're covered, like if you put a
Tarp
over it, and some people will do that.
That's legit.
They'll park them backwards, so code can't see it from the road, and then you gotta get permission to get on their property, so you can see whether or not they're registered. You can set up the best system in the world. People are going to try to game that system as best they can. So, but yeah, I know for a fact we do have codes that do.
Will that satisfy the city manager as far as what the council wants?
But we could maybe look at some other things as far as like where you're allowed to park a vehicle. So if they're parking in rights of way, get them out,
Well,
parking in front.
Brewer Circle, like if you try to make that bend, there's two houses that park on this. They both park in the street. There's no way a fire truck is getting through those vehicles, and I almost got hit head on just driving around. There's no way a fire truck or ambulance is going between those two vehicles, so it makes it very difficult. And it's one thing for citizens. I mean, they're like Mary Esther Manor. They're not walking on the sidewalks because they complain that the sidewalks are always blocked due to vehicles. So they're walking in the middle of the street. And some are just walking on the street because they prefer it. And that's their choice. They put their lives in their hand. But it's, like I said, the number, my biggest concern is the safety issue between the wildlife that is gathering in these front lawns. I mean, it's one thing that, we obviously cannot go in their backyards. That's a whole nother issue. But when you can see it from a road driving through it with your car and you can see a large rat the size of a cat, I'm a little concerned. I mean, I think we're looking for trouble if we don't start, getting very proactive on these safety concerns.
So it's safety concerns, I think is the.
Yes.
So my suggestion,
Coder, you haven't spoken on that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been here way too long and seen this pendulum go both ways. Yes, I agree. We need to address the issue. It is getting out of hand. I've had several businesses reach out to me. I reached out to the sheriff and asked them to go by and take care of a few things, some of them being homeless, which they appreciate. But also I remind everyone, the state passed the law. There is no more anonymous anymore. And my name's not going to go on every complaint. I'll gladly forward it to the right people, but when they come visit you, you got to put your name on the form. I don't want to see just the 5 or 6 of us on every form, because now
It looks
you're
like we're
overstepping
targeting.
our boundaries. This is not North Korea. Who are you? That this small elite group is now telling the rest of us how to live. This is America still. It's still free. Do I always agree with it? No, but still, we have to live within reason. Now, I'll give you the other worst case scenario. An elderly couple, God bless their souls, doing the best they can, and they were hoarders. You remember the address as well as what do we count, 250 bicycles
Mhm.
and 4 cars? 3 of them didn't move and stuff. And of course, they had no money. We fortunately worked with them. We also had the church help us out and the Boy Scout group and everything else. Because again, as Hayward said, I really don't want to take over, like seeing Fort Walton Beach do, a drug house, take it over, and it becomes ours. But if that's what it takes, okay. So yeah, I'm all for doing this. My other concern is with code is the number of hours. If we say do an extra, I'm just going to pull a number out of my hat, an extra 2 hours a week, driving around looking, that's 2 hours a week. He's not doing something else that we need him to do, i.e. permits, or i.e. the big box store, or i.e. there's a bunch of things he's got. So that's why Jared, I mean, it's going to be a juggling act. Some people aren't going to be happy, and I don't blame you at all. And I've talked to my neighbors because I got several of them that are new, moved in. Unfortunately, they're GIs, and they think, the base, oh, don't worry. No, okay, we're not the base. This is not how this works. So it's an education process to try to, I'm here to help, believe it or not, even though sometimes I have to be the bad guy. But it's a fine line. And I'm all for if we can tweak this. Now, you guys went with what I was hoping someone would say, and that's with cars blocking the sidewalks. That's against ADA. That's a federal law. A person in a wheelchair has the right to be on the sidewalk and not have to go out in the street because you're blocking the sidewalk. Now, some of us got really small, short driveways. So yeah, you're not going to put 2 cars back to back. So it's a fine line here. We got to be very careful, whether you're ADA compliant, and same with the fire trucks getting them through there and everything else. Be careful because some of our streets are Ruby Circle's not that wide. So yeah, it can get really interesting. So yeah, I'm all for it. I think we should do it, especially the businesses. The businesses I would agree. Yeah, I agree. The mall's gotten to be, I've seen all the broken glass and people getting in and doing things that they shouldn't be and stuff. Yeah, we need to fix that. I agree. Yes, ma'am.
Well, with the sweeps in Fort Walton, a lot of the businesses have had to put, they're tacky looking, but they're the orange notice of no vagrants, no loitering, no whatever, and it's via city, via blah, blah, blah. And it's not the businesses, it's the city is making them put them on there. And it could be, I mean, seen one at the women's shelter that's over there. They're all of them. There's even a house that just because the house is being worked on and there's workers in there on Hollywood, they had to have one on there. But is there something like that we can have the businesses have something displayed via, like how they do? I mean, I hate that they're orange because it looks like it's a citation of some sort, but it definitely is noticeable.
Yeah, and a lot of this stuff, there's no need to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
So you can adopt certain things, you can make them different colors, you can, how heavy-handed you want to be or not be. So those options are out there. I mean, it's just a matter of what's the appetite from this board, what you're willing to do and give staff that
Well, and
direction.
I know that Mr. Cherry has told a number of businesses to reach out to the sheriff's department to do a blanket trespass.
Right.
So that way the sheriff's department can then come by when they see vagrants, homeless, whatever, and they can run them off. So, our staff, our code department does actually do a good job with educating as many people as they can. And that's a great thing, including those that may be new to our city because they may not know the rules. And yeah, they don't necessarily choose to live in an HOA, but a city is an HOA, whether you like it or not. You've bought into a city. There are rules and ordinances that you have to follow. That's, if you don't like it, you move to the unincorporated areas. You have a little
County
bit
still
more.
has rules.
But yeah, I mean, but I think the biggest thing is, I mean, we did have, we got hammered years ago for over, code enforcement, but we had the same people in the code enforcement department. So I'm not really sure. I mean, we still had two people in that department, so I'm not really sure why this is going to be an issue to start addressing safety issues. I don't,
My only ask would be that, so we can certainly do the outreach, that's not a heavy lift. Just letting people know that these types of sweeps, if you will, are going to occur. I do think it'll be helpful though staff can put together a draft list of these are the things that we consider health and safety issues. And if there's something that we're missing, or if there's something that council wants to deprioritize, let us know. That way we're all on the same page.
Well, for these, they're not minor. I mean, it's not like grass and it's not like, edging and it's not like your gutters, are dirty. We're, like she said, talking about these. Is there like a timeline? Like, if we were to go and say, here's a compliance warning, and because this is considered a health and safety issue, blah, 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 blah. Is there a definite timeline? Like 30 days to move a refrigerator? That seems a bit a long time. Unless it's an elderly couple that maybe that's as far as it got, and if there's a way to, assist them. But what is the timeline for something like that, for removing a vehicle or for removing hazardous issues? Is there a timeline?
and maybe does Waste Management have a program where they can assist?
They do, but yeah.
Well, like maybe the elderly that cannot afford to remove a broken down appliance. Maybe there's a program.
Put out by the road. They take them on Friday.
Yeah,
Take
so
them
the,
They take
You
refrigerators.
a scrapper.
so the
Management will.
Yeah,
the
Waste
statute provides a reasonable time, right? So that's subjective, right? What you may think is reasonable. A lot of it is what's the violation?
Right.
Many of these homes may have, or properties rather, may have several violations. Some may only take, like you said, a few days. But, by and large, you'll say, hey, you got 30 days to bring the violations into compliance, especially if there's multiple. They can prioritize, there's a cost to get notices prepared and sent out and get the magistrate here. Those are administrative fees that are usually collected as part of it as well. So, but to answer your question, the Florida statute doesn't come out and say you must do these things within this time. They give that, to the discretion of the, jurisdiction that's imposing.
We
those
don't want these to go to magistrate. We would like,
No.
ideally, like Kelvin is compliance.
Yeah, and
prior
I
to
think what you'll
magistrate.
find is a lot of times, you may have to take some to the magistrate,
Right.
and then people hear about that and
Right.
realize, oh, they're taking it seriously, and then that kind of, the word gets out, and then people start doing it.
Well, and that's a last resort that
Right.
any of us, I think, want.
Well, and I
Because
think,
once it goes to magistrate, it's out of our hands.
Yeah,
And
I
if we
think the
change that
idea
ordinance,
is-
once it goes there, they can't come back to us and ask for.
and I think you need to presume that staff is giving people the opportunity to try to bring it, and like, hey, once we get the point where you're just not showing any progress, or you just refuse, or you just don't respond, because, some properties may be owned by people
Right.
that are out of town. So, you're just gonna have to, there's gonna be some that just end up going to magistrate. But to your point, the people who've lived here or who are living here, and they're trying to make a good faith effort,
Mhm.
I think, most people would agree, city staff's gonna try to give them that space to get it corrected.
Right.
Carter?
I would suggest that the city manager take a look at the fee structure for this. Currently, what we currently charge for non-compliance and all these visits. If code enforcement is going to make all these visits, then consideration that it's going to be fee for service. Why should the city bore all the responsibility of doing all this work? Now, I know there's a certain way now. I'm saying, take a look at the fee structure that we currently have in place, and can we make modifications or changes to that fee service, that the burden of going to a house 2 and 3 times, doing the research, whether the vehicle is registered or not, it's going to look like a cost of doing business, but I don't think the city should bear that cost. And I know they got the grandmas and people out of state, and there are many exemptions that are probably out there that exist, but going in, if we're going to make this program work, I would at least of us consider that it paid for itself.
So the only comment to that would be that I think it's in August, we were going to bring you all a discussion item to talk about cost recovery. I think we all know that budgets for a lot of cities right now are not a whole lot of fun. And so one of the questions is, how much do you want to recover for different types of services? Now with code compliance, there may be some legal challenges to that we'll have to work through with Hayward, but that's something that we can absolutely bring back to y'all. But if I could, just like I said, the few things that I had on my list were just sort of bringing the workflow, the SOPs, so that you all understand the process, and then having that list of code items that you all would like to prioritize. I think that would be helpful. Doesn't mean we have to have this same conversation again, but at least get a thumbs up, thumbs down, something on the record so that we know that we're following the directive of the council. And then with that being said, I do want to take this as a quick opportunity just to show folks, if I could, where you can find all of these violations. If I can figure out how to. I'll come back to that at the end of the meeting. How about that? During comments,
Some of the ones,
have it teed up.
I'm aware of the site, but some of the issues were not, don't actually have cases.
Are you looking for us to vote on it, or are you just gonna give us an email, or how are you gonna proceed, sir?
No, I can bring that back to the next meeting so that you all have it. I just think it's important that we all have the list of items that we all think are health and safety. Because otherwise it's just going to be sort of my opinion, and I think it's better that we all agree on those.
So does council agree that
Yeah, that's
something
fine.
needs to be done?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
That's,
within reason, because again, I love playing devil's advocate. If Mr. Code Enforcement decides to go on a week or 2 week vacation, the timeline might have to slip a little bit, because it's not like the sheriff can have extra, we're one man deep. So, or if he decides he wants to go visit his grandkids for 2 weeks.
just
So, yeah, that's.
cancel his vacation?
Yeah, it works for me.
that'll work.
And then we'll triple his pay. But anyway, yeah, so within reason, yes. I mean, anytime we cut and dry, be very careful here, so.
Yeah. Same thing.
Besides if COVID comes again. Oh.
Well, it's just a discussion. We're not making
Right.
any ordinances or
Right.
rules or vacation
Okay, just-
canceling or anything like that.
Oh, there
Are
we
we
go.
good? City manager, you understand the marching orders?
We are, but I'm going to go ahead and just show this to you while we're here. So it's under the report of concern, and then when you come in here, you can see these public dashboards, and that is where our map of code violations is at. And so these are all the cases, both closed and currently open. You can see the status here on the right for each case and where it's at.
When you say closed, that means it's been resolved to the satisfaction of code.
Correct.
Okay.
And then if somebody would like to report something, that is right here.
And I agree, having residents report the concerns, because that is your concern too. But yeah, just calling us and then us doing it, it definitely looks like targeting if it's just the 4 or 5 of us with our names on everything.
And I've gone as far as there's one place in particular that they have a large, probably 8 foot tall hurricane fence around their house, which I think looks as ugly as it can be. But when I went around and talked to the neighbors, I'm okay with it. Okay, you live next door or across the street from it. If you're I mean, yeah,
8
I
foots
can't
are allowed,
impose
though.
my view because I think it's ugly as,
But 8 foots are allowed, and
yeah, so, okay, but,
yeah,
It says fence.
you know,
Nobody complains.
that's what I'm saying.
can't
okay.
complain because it's not against ordinance.
So,
Okay, so we good on this one? We're done?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. 11.5 is citizens appearing before the council policy.
Yes, that one was mine.
Okay.
The idea behind that is trying to solve as many problems before we're in session so we can resolve, doesn't preclude them from appearing before the council, but we can try to solve it there versus trying to have them come back again and getting legal involved or the city involved and staffing. You know, they get here early enough, the city vets the request, and maybe they can solve it before they even get here. But then the city manager said, if he deems that the period of time needs to change one way or another, he has that option. Because you look down to the bottom of it, I'm just trying to bring more efficiency to the city versus a citizen wants to appear before the city, have an issue, can we best set them up for success versus the last call we had with the lady with the water bill issue. That's what spurred this idea of trying to do as much research and work before the meeting versus trying to find out answers after the meeting. So change the policy from 1 week to 10, I think 10 business days or 12 business days, I can't remember now, but basically putting the heavy lifting on the individual before the meeting versus at or during or after the meeting. Sole purpose, make best use of our time.
Yeah, that kind of was awkward no one knew what was going on other than the one woman who wanted not to pay the fine.
So we changed the current policy of what we have to more time, but staffing prior to the meeting, and knowing that each case is a case-by-case basis, but basically just trying to get everything done before the meeting. And it doesn't preclude a citizen from coming and appearing and making their case. It's just that when the gavel hits that day, the hope is that that situation has been resolved.
Okay.
I would also endorse that. Matter of fact, I would prefer almost to go to 14 days because like I did today with the holidays and everything else, I came in and talked to roughly an hour, I think, with the city manager of my concerns on a lot of different subjects. So I've done my homework ahead of time, so I understand where we're coming from and he understands where my concerns are at. Again, that's why too, I'm not mistaken, we're required to have it 7 days prior so we can do our homework and we can come in here and look intelligent. Notice I said look intelligent, and we know what's going on, okay? Also, we might have a better idea of how we should do this,
Resolve
you
the
know?
issue.
So yeah, I'm all for this, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So I guess the only question I would have is what, so we have two options right now for someone to speak at a council meeting, two formal options. One being the public comment period, which is any topic. Typically, if somebody's wanting action, they'll ask to have the item added to the agenda. And as of right now, they submit those as of the cutoff the Monday before, right? And so to Councilmember Carter's point, there's no time for staff to look at it, give any kind of recommendation. And so I guess my question is, if you're wanting staff to provide you with some backup material or any kind of a recommendation, I do agree that the 14 days would be ideal.
Well,
It
what
gives
about
us
10
a few
business
days.
days?
Well, it's
Um,
kind of 14
Yeah,
days.
but that
Oh,
would,
that basically does the same thing.
right, but some
So-
people would rather hear that, 10 business days, because then they'll say 14, and it's,
10
if they
business
hear
days.
the business, they know that that's,
That-
if you have a holiday in between, it's not a business day.
You want 10 business days?
That's fine as well. I mean, that's the same intent. It's just 2
Right.
weeks. That will work.
Is council happy with 10 business days?
Yes.
Well, an example was today, 8.1, Mr. Chris Wagons,
Wagons back.
whatever, didn't show up. I mean, I did my research on this and stuff, and I'm ready to,
That's his call, and
Yeah, I understand.
he's not going to get any.
That's right. What I'm
any-
saying is,
yeah.
I still like
You
to do
did.
my homework.
Yeah, no,
as
no,
long
no,
as
you-
They do their homework. and
We're,
stuff,
we're
so, yeah.
assuming they show up. If they don't show up, that's
That's
their
fine, yeah.
call. But 10 business days, let's make that the new rule.
And do you want us to give you basically just a short sort of synopsis or recommendation on each one?
Please.
Because one of the discussions Dylan and I had was that we typically have, some years I don't think we've had any. Our max is maybe 3 in 1 year.
Mhm.
So that's something we can certainly do.
I think it just will eliminate an email from each one of us going, what's
Going,
the
yeah, what's this
backstory of
about? Yeah.
this? And if it's something as simple as really what tonight was, there was really no reason to come in and have a sit down with you over that. I could gotten that with email and what was sent to me when I asked, so.
Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah,
We all got
right.
pictures. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Let's do that. You want to vote on it to make it 10 days, or can you live with 10 days?
Business days
I'm fine with that. Do you want anything more formal than that?
and business days,
No?
Okay. so
Okay.
You got it, 10 days.
business days.
Business days,
Thank you.
10 business days.
Are you gonna bring the policy language back for them to approve? Is that the plan? Jared?
That is an excellent question.
So you wanna prepare that and bring it back, and then y'all can approve it via
Sounds good.
resolution?
Yeah.
Two,
Yes.
2 readings. Got it.
No, well, not ordinance. It'll be just a resolution.
Resolution?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just one reading.
Yep.
With a paragraph. Okay, deal. I mean, is that okay?
Yeah, and the other thing, you know, you may, and it may just be however much, Jared, I know a lot of, some city managers will refuse to put things on the agenda if you don't give them a complete package, right? Like
Mhm.
tonight was, you know, very,
Big.
very vague when it came to it, and, you know, saying, I need more specificity or I'm not putting this on
Absolutely,
the
because he has to
agenda.
make a recommendation,
Right,
and if he
like,
can't,
you need to, you know, having Jared be able to tell them, because some people say, no, that's all I want to give, and then being able to say, hey, I'm not going to put it on the agenda, or I'm putting it on the agenda, but I'm going to let them know you refuse to provide information. That way, you know, coming in, it's not.
It just
hey,
really doesn't benefit them to not give
Well,
us.
it doesn't, but
it
I
just
mean, you
really
can't
doesn't,
control
because
what
we
people
don't-
want
I
to
know.
give to you
Mhm.
and not give to
That-
you.
yeah.
That's
Okay.
fine.
All right.
Came up with some material.
Let's move on. Mix 12 council standing committee status reports with other comments. Start out with Ms. Sutton.
Yeah, first and foremost, happy birthday, Mayor Stein. Thank you for
Yeah,
always supporting our city
I
and
appreciate it.
attending so many things. I last week I had lunch with our Lieutenant Governor and Pat Maney, our Representative Pat Maney. I did thank him personally for all the hard work he's put in this year. It's been a very trying time in Tallahassee, and we're very lucky to have a state rep that actually cares about our community and our neighborhoods and keeps fighting that good fight for us. So, and just looking forward to seeing what else shapes up with all of that. So, yeah.
Gonna be interesting.
Just have we thought any more about the Christmas trees for the hospice? Has that been, am I to be talking to
Point of
people?
contact,
Okay.
and we said yes.
Okay, I just wouldn't, do I need to reach out to the Friends of the Library to see about if they're, is it me? I just want to make sure before I start doing this, because we do have the funds. The funds have been raised to
Yeah.
purchase the trees.
Whatever you want us to do, we said we were gonna do
Okay,
it.
perfect. I will do it.
All right? That was the vote. I mean,
I just want to
You got
clarify,
it.
we're at this point
We just
now where
don't
I can move forward
tell us
further.
what to do.
Yes,
Okay.
the money has been raised.
Okay, great.
Such.
Great.
Not
Richard?
on, not on the city, not on the city. It's
No,
not city money.
Yeah, that's fine. No, we said we're gonna help. Richard?
Anything?
Okay, we got an upcoming meeting with the parade. We'll feedback on that one, and we got new requirements and all that stuff, and we're moving on with that. That's, and a yard of the month I'll take care of. You're next. Go ahead.
Any updates, city manager, on our building?
Oh, dear. Please.
Well, I've asked for an update, and I received one, I think earlier today, but it's not complete. And
Is
hold
the
on,
carpet here yet?
I do not have a status update on the carpet. So it was 6 weeks from when it was ordered. So we've got to be within 2 or 3 weeks now.
Okay.
I was told they're waiting from the carpet manufacturer. My guess is the ask went out today. And so when I do receive that, I will let the council know. As far as the council dais, because that was a second item, I was told probably 3 to 4 weeks. And then the signage is another item. The carpet is definitely the most important and critical for us actually relocating.
Right.
And so that's the update I'm more interested in hearing about. I apologize. I don't mean that to sound any particular way, but
Pretty
if we're able
self-centered,
to
yes.
relook,
In if the
we
codes
can set up. The council dais has to be finished before the AV folks can come in and make changes. Um, the signage, as much as I would love for that to be done tomorrow, it's not necessarily required for us to move in. But as soon as I get the update on the carpet, I will certainly pass that on to the council.
Thank you.
Speaking of which, the 13th of July, we doing a ribbon cutting for Azalea Park? I was going to ask you that.
I was going to leave that to our city clerk to have that discussion. No? Now you're telling me no?
No, I got no.
I got no.
No.
Let's, you want, go ahead.
How are we currently informing the public about budget discussions? Inform the public?
So it will be posted like any other agenda item is. We have not gotten beyond that yet. We haven't finished the document yet for that meeting. Just like any other budget. There's one other thing that I don't want to put a timeline on it, but there will be some information going out shortly on budget workshops and frankly how cities are going to manage this referendum that's upcoming. And so I know at every step of the way, we're going to try to put the information out so that folks understand what's in the budget, so that they can give feedback. In addition to the budget workshop on July 20th, we'll also have 2 public hearings, but it's always better to come in and give feedback um, in writing before we get to, in writing or calling on the phone or coming to the workshop before we get to those public hearings. Because the sooner we can identify something, the sooner we can address it.
Yeah, I was asked by a citizen today about the cloud over our budget process with the referendum that's going on. So I was just making sure that those inquiring minds have a chance to find out what's going on, and if there'll be an impact, depending what happens in November. And my last and final question for the evening is the property where the school sits. Has the school board made any contact with the city?
So I went to the meeting where the school board discussed the proposals, and at that time they had discussed hiring a commercial realtor to manage the sale. Both proposals they received apparently were well less than the appraised value, which was I think close to $9 million. And so I don't think that they have necessarily contracted yet with
They-
somebody.
They have.
Um,
They've picked us up in Crestview. He's with Remax. But yeah, one bid was for $1
The other was like
and one was
600.
600,000. And I understand where the dollar came from and 600,000, but yeah, they're gonna go with a broker.
How'd you find that out?
Mr. Parker Destin, I called him, and he said and it was it was actually on Get the Coast. It was a couple of things. It was saying that they're going to the broker who they're going to pick. It was on the county school page site and the meeting when you watch the meeting.
Thank you.
Mhm. So
Oh, Dylan, can you pull up those pictures? I had the opportunity to go over to see our brand-new ladder truck with the chief, and that's awesome. So
No,
now
I
we're
was gonna
not
say.
just limited to the Fort Walton Beach ladder truck. That ladder truck will go up 7 stories. So that's nice. So if we keep building Hampton Inns or whatever in 4 or 5, we've got a truck, and that's right over here on Oak Street. That's not that far away. So that was excellent. Also, Pat Manny was there. We discussed, and he went into great detail about the upcoming property tax issue coming before all of us, and how that truck took over 2 years from the time they decided to get it till it showed up, and it cost $1.5 million for public safety, which to me is priceless. If it saves one person's life, it's worth every penny. There's a good picture of the chief. Oh, by the way, Pat Manny is the gentleman there on the left-hand side in the blue shirt in the back. And the next man over there is Mayor Mark Franks from Shalimar. who would become the next president of the Florida Leagues of Cities, which leads me into the Northwest Florida Leagues of Cities discussion about property tax and options and things like that. I know that all the PIOs or city managers are getting together and are going to put out a notification, lack of better words. I have mentioned to the city manager, because state requires we cannot use a dime of city money. I'm willing to put up at least $200 to get the word out on my dime so people know what's going to happen if this thing gets through. I'm really concerned about it. Again, it only takes 60%. And if you read the thing, it takes like 3 pages to describe it. When it goes on the ballot, it's going to be 3 sentences. And it's going to be, how do I want to say this? Not completely accurate on the ballot. It's going to say it'll tax exempt for homesteaded for $250,000. That's kind of not exactly correct. The first year, 1 January 2027, it'll go up to 150,000. And January 1st of 2028, then it goes up to 250. So they're kind of playing with the numbers here a little bit. And also, talking to Pat Manning and some, there are several cities in Okaloosa County that probably won't survive. There are lots of them in the Panhandle area that are probably not going to survive. There's probably going to be some counties that aren't going to survive. They're going to have to combine them. So this could get real ugly real quick. Understand, the governor will be gone, and the rest of us will have to try to clean this mess up. So we need to be very careful with this. So yeah, as much as I do it, and I've done it to businesses, I had to get 4 new tires at Firestone, and I had talked to the Firestone manager. The way I see this happening is, if I don't have to pay property tax, that burden's going to get shifted to the businesses. When you think about it, how many of those homeowners in Mary Esther are going to shift that to Starbucks, Firestone, Panera's? I mean, hello, all those businesses, Wiley's Pizza. Yeah, they're going to have to absorb this, which means your prices are also going to go up. So yeah, and besides, I'm trying to work with the county. They haven't gotten back with me yet, how they envision they're going to get through this. Besides us taking a hit, Okaloosa County is going to lose $23 million. Oops. So they're trying to figure out how they're going to recover that also, because they want to keep the sheriff. I do too. I don't know if you saw the commercial. Santa Rosa Sheriff's Department's already saying, I'm going to have to cut deputies and my response time is going to slow down. So this could be very interesting if we're not very careful. Last but not least, let's go back to the city hall. The current contract says for every day they're late, there's a $1,000 fine. Currently, as of today's date, that means they owe us $175,000. That more than fixes our current deficit. Well, I'm to the point, I'm willing, this can't go on much longer. I'm really tempted, if this comes around in August, if we're still not any closer, I think it's time that the city lawyer and the city manager, we start terminating people. If that means we get rid of the project manager, we don't, it's time to, I mean, I don't see how we can keep doing this. This is ridiculous. Okay?
Well, hey,
That's all-
why
that's all I have.
are we doing it?
Well, I think there's been
Where's
discussions.
your money?
Well, there's some notice requirements under the contract, which we've provided those. We've requested a timeline on the corrective measures. We've notified them that, there is that, provision in the contract that allows for liquidated damages, on behalf of the city for taking over. So, I mean, that got us to somewhat to where we're at now. The architect has documented and, we consulted with the architect before sending those notices to make sure we felt comfortable. I think we're in a very strong factual and legal position. But, the main thing we've been trying to do is obviously get you in the space, right? Trying to change contractors, I wouldn't say midstream, but this late in the game is always going to add additional time and some things because a lot of contractors don't want to touch what another
Mhm.
contractor did. And then now they got to get their own people in and take things out, put new stuff in.
But that's
So-
not our problem, is it?
Well, it is our problem in the sense that you want to get in the space sooner rather than later. And, the hope is when you get in it, it's going to be in a, something that is not going to need a lot of repair or a lot of, uh, I guess, attention after the fact. But, I mean, both Jared and I are mindful of that. I know Jared's living with it daily, so he's probably more mindful than I am of it. But yeah, we'll do whatever the, council tells us, you want to do. If it's, I can tell you, it's not for lack of enforcement of the contract. I mean, we've been documenting it. The architect has as well. We've started that process. If that's where we have to go, if that's the answer, the ultimate
I
answer,
mean,
then we'll go
after
there.
we take acceptance of the building, we need to go for liquidated damages,
Yes.
period.
Yeah.
This is unacceptable in any way, shape, or form.
Is this an accurate number? I mean, they're 175 days in arrears?
Yes.
If that's the case, then why don't we just go ahead and sue them? I mean, you're gonna make money on it, maybe, if the way you're talking, it's a good deal. I mean, we got a good case. So if that would wake them up to finish the thing real quick when they start after paying out the money. And,
Well,
I mean, it's just an idea, but it's.
No, and I mean, there may be that
That's the
point
next
where,
step.
uh, and we haven't paid them everything, so it's not as though all the money's been used. But I mean, there may be the point where we have to have that discussion of whether or not the council wants to pursue legally to try to claw
I think
back
we're
money.
starting to give you that
I can see,
impression.
I can see that.
You got 1, 2 people already.
Yeah, and
I don't vote, I'm for it.
and we
So, I
we
mean.
can bring
So,
that up in
and the
future.
council can certainly do that. It's not going to give me any heartburn.
Right, I mean,
But
this is ridiculous.
But at the end of the day, we do know the carpet's been ordered. We received confirmation from that. And that was about, I want to say about 4 weeks ago now. The shop drawings for the council dais have been approved, so that is being manufactured, which kind of leaves us at the sign issue. And I think we've got ways of addressing that. If we don't get a product that we're happy with. But I don't, if we're to that point, I think that's something that we do outside of it. And we hire a company that we're happy with. But again, if council wants to do that, you certainly can. I'm not gonna throw up any speed bumps.
Do you want to make that decision next council meeting? Or give them another.
That's 2 weeks. I mean, that'll kind of bump it into if the carpet's here or not.
I won't
How
be at
much-
the next council meeting. I'll be at a national transportation meeting, so, but yes, I'm for.
Well, I mean, it's
doing
like,
something.
yeah.
How much,
And then Bernie will keep adding another 1,000
There
a
you go,
day,
Bernie. Just
and,
How-
numbers will be
the
big.
ticket going.
how much have we withheld back? Approximately.
I don't know that number off the top of my head, but we've withheld back enough to be able to complete the project.
Yeah, so the architect has to approve payments and based on work that's completed, so the architect comes out and inspects to make sure we're not paying for things that haven't been done or things that haven't been done, but
Correctly.
haven't been done correctly. So the architect, the last conversation that Jared and I had with the contractor was what, about a month and a half back, 2 months back, somewhere in that range. And we told them at the time that the architect hadn't approved, well, submit your payment request, but we're not going to make but these payments at that time. So that's kind of a moving target as things get done, but we are mindful of where we're at and ask the architect, for his recommendation on what to hold back. So I know we've been working, to make sure that we're not left with a shortfall if the contractor pulls up stakes tomorrow and doesn't show up anymore.
But you're basically holding back money when they went past their deadline. We should be making money.
Well, I mean, I don't think that ship has sailed, is what I'm getting at.
Right, but I mean, that ship ought to be right there, ready, tied up to the dock, saying, let's, this is the problem.
If
The
it were-
council's not happy with the performance.
And I think we can definitely
Okay.
express that, and if you want to bring it up and you say, hey,
We'll bring it up next council
and
meeting.
then we can do
and,
that.
you know.
But I think there is going to be that need, at some point, for sure.
And if I could, so everyone understands, there was in the contract, the contractor could have submitted to us that there has been a delay, that the carpeting unfortunately was not available, and all he had to do was fill out a form and submit it, so we knew. They never did. We're sitting here, we have to, and no, I'm done. You could have, they had an out. All they had to do was fill out a form and send it to the city manager saying, unfortunately, the carpet is 6 weeks away. They didn't do that. Their mismanagement shouldn't cost us.
Right.
This sounds like those,
That's my concern.
No,
the
you got
100,
a good concern.
yeah, I don't have an appetite to kick it any further. We had the same sound like what those 100 driveways that all of a sudden found one day that we didn't do. So no, I don't think it,
We take it into shorts a lot.
I don't have an appetite to proceed any further than where we are. Both ends, play both ends. We hold the money back and we ask for money as well because we have been gracious and they have proven that they have not taken us serious.
Don't care. Yeah, I think the council's online with it. What about you, Richard? You haven't said anything. Absolutely. Okay, he's doing this. We're good. Okay, anything else? Hayward, comments?
I'll get with Jared on that.
Get with them. We want, you start telling them that, they'll probably get the carpet quicker.
Well, with the red letter, they did kind of perk up, but yeah. maybe we
Write
could-
some more letters, okay? Perk them up.
Eth-
Dylan,
Ethics training, cybersecurity training, check your mailboxes. And what day do you all want to have, what day and time do you want to have the azalea ribbon cutting?
Oh, goodness.
oh, that's right.
What day works for
Not,
that
isn't it?
everyone is happy with it?
Got the 24th, the 27th, and what'd you say, the 31st?
Whatever day in July works for everyone.
Okay, pick a
Whatever day in July.
Whatever,
What, are we looking at morning time?
whatever day and time,
Because it's hot.
Yeah, morning would be better.
morning,
Um,
You got a point.
then what morning works for everyone?
The 27th, 28th, or 29th, I'm available.
I'm good.
27th, everybody available?
I'm
27th?
good the 27th.
Said yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Lawson?
Mr. Carter,
And
you'll hear.
I guess pickleball schedule.
I know, pickleball, we're playing pickleball on the 27th.
Yeah, on the 28th.
Checking, huh?
27th.
27th.
28th, 27th.
27th.
27th's good.
Okay.
Mr. Carter?
Time. I do it 8 a.m.?
Yeah, I don't have to be there.
No, you don't, but we love you and we'd like you to be there.
What about the 31st? Oh, you'll be gone.
I'll be in Tampa.
That's right.
27th will work.
7th.
Okay,
27.
27th. You okay with that?
I mean, we could do it late afternoon. I mean,
Okay, if you're okay.
No, that'd be.
What's the matter, Dylan? Dylan's not
Jared's
available the
not here.
27th?
Jared's not here either.
That's okay. We've got folks that are perfectly capable of.
What about the
putting
24th?
together-
If everyone says the 27th, we will do the 27th.
What about the 24th?
I don't think he's here either.
Well, I mean, what does Friday the 24th look like for everybody?
I can.
You can?
I can.
I can.
But you, Richard.
Okay.
You can?
April 24th?
Oh, well, 27th it is. Or what, I don't know.
27th at 9 o'clock.
Okay. That is all.
Thank you.
Is
Got
the
that.
ribbon cut?
So the 13th is out of the window. The 20th is our workshop.
Dylan, I'm doing my ethics on the 15th. Thank you.
What else
I'll
we
get
got coming up? The
Cybersecurity
parade
plan.
meeting on the 8th.
Oh, wait,
Anything else
Can't-
from city manager?
27th, 9 a.m.
Anybody else? We're adjourned.
Wedding.